Heyo! So this week we are doing the My Family Chooses My Book. So this was when we went out to the city for my mum's birthday / Mother's Day event, and I got her and my two kids and myself to all pick books based on the cover, whatever grabbed their eye, and we'll see which one will be crowned the champion. I do have a caveat. I'm going to go through the books very quickly, not what they're about. I'm just going to show them to you and who picked what. So first up, we have Indy's pick. She picked Vow of the Shadow King, but before I talk about this, she actually picked the third installment. That was the cover that caught her eye the most. However, I've only read the first one, so I told her I do have to read the second. But she absolutely loved this foiling on the cover and then the hot pink that was on the third one. I read the first one of this almost 3 years ago now. I did not leave a review because, like I said, before I started the channel, I was very spotty with logging stuff on Goodreads. The best that you could hope for was just a rating. I gave it 4 stars. I barely remember it. It's a little bit of it remembered. The premise of this one, I know, is that, and I'm telling you because I'm starting with this one, is you have, is he an elf? What is he? Look, a non-human king comes to marry one of the humans' daughters, king's daughters, but I think he chooses the eldest daughter, even though he's got a bit of a vibe with the second daughter. They're vibing. But then the eldest daughter dies before the wedding date, but the human king doesn't want to risk war, so they disguise his second-born as the firstborn. And so she goes back with this king to their lands, and he eventually discovers her secret. I gave it 4 stars, so I must have enjoyed it. I've already started reading this. I'm not loving it. The main character, Forain, I just don't like her. She's just a bit too meek and timid for me. And then the king did chuck her in a dungeon after finding out she wasn't who she said she was. And then naturally bad stuff happens to her. She's in a dungeon and he's like, oh, I didn't think about that. I just thought, oh, I need to get her in a secure place away from me. Dungeon? That's the first secure place for your wife that you can think of when you don't want harm to come to her? Are you for real, my dude? And she calls him out. She's like, what do you think was going to happen to me in a dungeon where I didn't even have a toilet, barely any food, no sunlight? And he's like, yeah, I just didn't think. I was just like, put her somewhere safe. And she wasn't safe there, naturally. So he's a bit of a dum-dum. And I'm side-eyeing past Chanel for giving this 4 stars. I'm hoping maybe the tension will come back. There must have been some really good romance build up in the first one for me to give it 4 stars because I'm not liking much else about it. We'll see how we go. Like I said, I've only read 50 pages, which actually is a decent amount, and we'll see how we go. So that is Indy's pick. And then we have my eldest daughter's. She doesn't want me to say her name anymore, so I'm not going to. She chose Where the Crawdads Sing. This is a collector's edition, so it is very pretty. It's got gold foiling on the cover, and it's got a beautiful purple and blue night sky, so I knew that's why she picked it. And these are the end pages. This is a hardcover copy, nothing on the front. Now, when I saw that she picked this, my heart fell a bit because I have heard about this and it didn't interest me because I have this very weird thing where, like, Southern American dialect in written words, my brain really struggles with it. It slows me down so much, and for some reason I just find it confusing. I don't know why. It's dumb, but it just is that way. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this just because of the dialect in it. And from what I heard, it's a bit of a mishmash of genres. Like, it's not quite a thriller, it's not quite a love story, it's not quite a litfic, it's a bit of everything. I know it's a TV series now. The cover is pretty. I'll let you know at the end which cover out of all of them it was my favorite, even though I picked one for myself. But yes, I don't have high hopes for this one because I just have a feeling it's not to my tastes, but that was my eldest kiddo's choice. And then my mama chose City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. So I'll show you, this cover also has spot gloss and foiling on it. I have a feeling that also the fact that it was by Elizabeth Gilbert comes into play because my mum does like her stuff. I have no idea what this is about. I will look it up right before I read it. Once again, she's also chosen something with a lot of pink, blue, and purple on the cover. So it seems my family members really like the purple, blues, and pinks. So that was her choice. Look, Elizabeth Gilbert and I have read Eat, Pray, Love. I did read the other one, Big Magic, and I thought they were both mid. So we'll see how we go. And then the book that I picked, the one that caught my eye out of what was there, that also I didn't know anything about. So when I choose books based on their covers, it has to be books that I am not aware of. Otherwise, I'm not so much choosing it for its cover as the fact that I want to read it if I know what it's about, you know? So I try and choose ones I have no idea about. And this is The Rules of Attraction by Bret Easton Ellis. So once again, this one also has spot gloss on there, so I guess that's a thing now. Now, I have heard of this author before. I have not read any of their stuff at all, and I have no idea what this is about. So this was my pick. So those are the 4 books that I'm going to read with this vlog. I would say I should read all of them since there's only 4, but I don't want to do that to myself if I'm hating it and then to end up rating a book a 2-star. That's awful. So I'm going to just do a 50% situation. I will read half of the books and then decide, is this 3 or under, in which case DNF, or I'm liking this, read it all the way, and we'll see which one hopefully I like the most, and I'll let you know which cover out of those 4 I also like the most. There's a high chance it's going to be my one, let's be real. I don't think there's a lot of suspense with that statement, but today I did the adulting thing. I scheduled all of the appointments that I have been putting off for like 6 months or more for today. I thought, let's do a band-aid day. Let's just make today awful, but it's only one day. Just swallow that medicine with a spoonful of sugar. First up is a dentist teeth cleaning, because I love that. I love coming out with just blood all up in here. You know, is there anyone that actually enjoys the physical experience of having their teeth cleaned at the dentist? Is there anyone out there? Because I'm pretty sure it's a universal human experience where you just don't like your gums being skewered. But I've got then a whole stack of appointments after that. So I'll touch base with you guys once I've read half of a book, or maybe a bit more. I might wait a little bit, so I've got a bigger update to give you.
Good girls. No, 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 no. Be nice.
Hey guys, I've got Blue on my lap, so I'm sitting weirdly because she's on me. Update on Mr. Byron. With the date, on the date, they were very timid and shy, and their body language, like they made themselves very small, and they could barely look at me. And the whole date they were telling me that I was out of their league, I was too classy for them, they couldn't believe I even showed up. And basically just a lot of insecurity and low confidence. And then couple that with the fact that they lied about their age on their Bumble profile. So on their profile it says that they're 33. And then on the date he said, oh, so we're the same age. And I'm like, no, we're not. He said, yeah, 38. I'm like, your profile says 33. And he just says, yeah, sorry about that. No explanation as to why. This has happened a few times with men. I don't understand. It's very simple. You put your birth date in and then you check that it's correct. If it's not correct, delete the profile, start again. I don't understand why you would put a false age on there. Anyway, he also smokes as well, and smoking is a no-go for me. So I was going to, there was also zero chemistry. He was very attractive, but I didn't feel any spark. So I was going to message him the next day and let him know. However, he got in first and wrote me the thirstiest, grossest, massive essay, basically detailing what he'd like to do to me. I'm just going to give you a little snippet so you can get a sense of the poetry that was in this. But after alluding to his massive dong.
Whoops! Oh, I dropped my monster condom that I used for my magnum dong.
I'm out of here.
He said, I'd absolutely thrash you. Those ovaries of yours would be bruised AF. Just, you know, like, oh my God. I don't feel bad now about sending the sorry there was no romantic connection for me text, because no, don't do that. Don't do that. There's a way to say that you like a lady without doing it that way. So he's out. And I am going to see Mr. Too Sweet one more time just to check that there's no chemistry. I'm hoping there is, because so far he's just been the most respectable adult person that I've gone on a date with. And it wouldn't be nice to be done with first dates, but if body says no,
Pit says no,
then I will be taking a little bit of a break. I've already paused Bumble already. I've got my Hinge still running because, like I said, that can just sit there and I can just pop in whenever I feel like it, whereas Bumble is very active and I'm not wanting to be active right now. But let me talk about the rest of the books from this reading vlog. Are you ready for it? Okay, so we have Big Kiddo's Choice with Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Unfortunately, I did end up effing this because my brain just has such a hard time processing the Southern dialect. So it's like everything. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to say it with an accent. Something, it was just, everything is sort of abbreviated and it's got like a heavy accent and my brain just struggles. So I got to 50% and this book, oh my God, what is this book about? This book is about a young girl who's called the Marsh Girl. A boy winds up dead and people think she's got something to do with it, and they all sort of shun her, and then her family just abandons her there. But like, what would they, why, what kind of people? Anyway, it ends up being sort of like a bit of a romance, a bit of a crime mystery. I don't know. It just, nothing about it was interesting to me. And like I said, it was a slog for me to get through because I don't know why, but my brain's just like, does not compute when I'm trying to read very heavy Southern slang. If I hear it, like in a movie, it's okay, but reading it, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's because it looks like it's improper spelling and grammar, and therefore, I don't know, my neurodivergent brain just goes, what? So I did DNF this one. I just knew it wasn't my type of book genre either. Then we've got my mum's choice, which was City Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. And I also DNF'd this. So with this one, this starts off with the main character getting a letter written to her by the daughter of a man she obviously had some sort of love affair with and was the mistress of. And the daughter asks, "What were you to my dad?" And this very conceited, self-absorbed woman writes back, "Well, let me tell you what he was to me," and proceeds to write her entire life story, complete with all the sordid details, to this poor girl, poor Angela. It's like, lady, Angela doesn't want to know about all the dicks you've sat on, just her daddy's. So it's like, read the room, lady. The audacity of this woman to send this poor girl like all of her explicit sex life stuff. It's just, at the end of the day, I just didn't care about this fictional woman's fictional life. There was also a scene where she decides to just do away with her virginity. I just want to rip it off like a band-aid. So she gets this married doctor, because that's the way you go, to do it for her. And his version of dirty talk sounded like a medical exam. "I am now going to put your breast in my mouth because that is the standard procedure." Oh no, sir. So I did end up DNFing this one as well. Look, I think my mum might like it. It's just the main character was so vapid and vain that I could not. Time is short, guys, and this isn't real. This isn't someone's memoir. So I'd rather not have her life story catalogued in my brain. I will give this to my mum to see if she wants to read it. But yeah, I knew straight away too, this isn't my kind of book. Then we have The Rules of Attraction by Bret Easton Ellis, and this was my choice based on the cover. And I did not do 50%. I actually could not make myself read 50% of this book. I'm going to read you the first sentence now. I'm being serious when I say first sentence, so from the start to the full stop. So it starts with a lowercase as well. "And it's a story that might bore you, but you don't have to listen," she told me, because she always knew it was going to be like that. And it was, she thinks, her first year, or actually weekend, really a Friday in September at Camden. And this was 3 or 4 years ago, and she got so drunk that she ended up in bed, lost her virginity late, she was 18, in Lorna Slavin's room because she was a freshman and had a roommate, and Lorna was, she remembers, a senior or a junior, and usually sometimes at her boyfriend's place off campus to who she thought she was a sophomore ceramics major, but who was actually either some guy from NYU, a film student, and up in New Hampshire just for the dress to get screwed party, or a townie. That was the first sentence. First off, 18 to lose your virginity is not late or early or whatever. You know, like, let's not. That gets steadily, rapidly worse right after that. So basically this does, okay, first off, the writing style, as you can probably already tell, that is not for me. That sort of rambling, meandering, massive sentence, almost a half-page sentence, no, just what? But this opens up with a woman who gets blackout drunk at a party and wakes up, she's a virgin, being raped by two strangers who also take turns vomiting everywhere. And that just keeps going and going and going and going. So, no, this was just about a bunch of young people who do drugs and have sex and go to parties, and there was nothing profound or poignant about it. I did not like any of the conversations that were being had. It switches POVs mid-page. So I found another one, guys. I found another one where the POV just flip-flops with everybody, just randomly mid-paragraph. Here we go, another one. Don't like that, as we all know. This is really quite literally possibly the worst book I ever attempted to read. This is so not me. This is the furthest thing from what I enjoy. I don't understand the point of it. Look, everyone's got their thing. I say if you pick this up and you don't like the first chapter, leave it, because that's the whole book. And yeah, no. And then we've got India's Choice with The Vow of the Shadow King by Sylvia Mercedes, which is what I used to be called because people couldn't pronounce my Greek name. This is a second in a series. This one, after the last three, I had so much hope that please let this be a book that I want to finish. Drumroll, no, it was not. I did do 50% again of this one, gave it a thorough shot. This is the second. So this princess whose main skill is fainting, gotta love that, and who married the king under false pretenses. He's a trollder, and that king seems to be getting slipped rage juice, has all these anger outbursts. The point where I was like, I really don't like this, is he directed those angry outbursts towards Forain, and he was abusive. So there was abuse in this, and he tried to sexually assault her, and that's a hard no. I am not going to ship a character together if the dude is assaulting the woman. She's saying no, stop, and they're not stopping. Even if, like, okay, he's under the control of this juice, which is what he probably is. I don't know for certain yet because I only read halfway, but you know, other people that assaulted her were also under the influence. But yeah, rage bender assaults. Like, how is this romance? I don't get it. I guess it's a dark romance, right? But the rest of the book was also not interesting. So he's a king. He's probably like the dumbest king I've ever read about. Dude was making all the wrong choices. Forain was just too timid and docile for me as well, and just allowing herself to be abused. And I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about the stakes that were at play, the other, you know, sort of very faint storylines that were weaved within it. I don't know why I gave the first one a 4 stars. Maybe it's because they were still sort of, you know, the whole arranged marriage, forced proximity thing, and them slowly like coming to love each other was cute. But then obviously once he finds out that she was lying about who she was, he just, like I said, throws her in a dungeon because that's a safe place for a woman, right? Totally, dude. And then proceeds to like physically harm her. He's like, I'll never do it again. I'll never touch you again. No. It's totally understandable why she had to do what she did. She didn't have a choice. It's not like she chose to deceive him. Bro, get a grip. You know, she didn't do it to maliciously hurt you. She was forced into this position. She had no other choice, really, unless she wanted to, be killed? So, yeah. That was the 4th one. So, which cover is my favorite? Look, I still do like this cover, the one I chose. However, I severely dislike the book. Out of the other ones that my kids picked, I'm probably going to go with the hologram. Like, it's pretty, it's shiny. It glitters when you move it around, and it's a nice shade of purple, so probably that one. But then I also do like the colors on this. Just don't like the real person in the boat. What have I learned from this vlog? Don't judge a book by its cover. Who would have knew? That is some new information for the masses. You're welcome, guys. yeah, I won't be doing that anymore. That is just a waste. I will find homes for these books, donate them to some op shops or whatever, family, friends, whoever wants them can get them. But also probably should always read some Goodreads reviews, just in case. Those people mention non-consent and things like that. I know it's not going to be for me. Sorry, I thought someone was outside. But that was everything for this little mini vlog. Until next time, stay well, Star Child.